If you want to start your own digital business, then you're going to need your own digital product, right? In this video, I'm going to be going over 21 digital product ideas that you can create and sell starting today, starting with the first one, and that's ebooks. So with an ebook, it can be fiction or nonfiction, whatever you write. The only thing you'll probably need to outsource is the cover design, which you can find off Upwork or Fiverr. But even so, Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing makes it very easy to get your book live in front of thousands, if not millions of people who can possibly come across your book based on the keywords that you put in the description and title, and also putting in appropriate categories. Getting your book on Amazon and selling it should be no problem at all. Moving on to the second digital product idea, and that's online courses. So with online courses, you can sell it one of two ways. You can either sell it on your own hosting platform in which you have your own website and you sell your online course there, or you can use Skillshare, in which Skillshare will sell your online course for you. So with Skillshare, you are definitely going to make a lot less money, but compared to selling your own online course on your own website, what I found though is that Skillshare, they do have an existing audience. So if you're just looking for some side income within your digital business, Skillshare could be a route to go. It still has its own audience. Thousands and thousands of people are watching Skillshare every single day. And what you get paid on is not people purchasing your course, but instead people actually watching your course. You get paid per minute that someone actually watches your online course. So with your online course, you can have it both on Skillshare and sell it, but ideally you want to keep it on one or the other platform. Now moving on to the third digital product idea, and that is music licensing. So if you're a musician who is very creative when it comes to creating their own music, Artlist may be the best place for you to sell your digital audio. How it works is that you sign up for Artlist and you basically license your music for other individuals to use, and you get paid, I think, on a yearly or quarterly basis based on how many people use your songs. So it's free to sign up. There is an application process, but I have heard of people making thousands of dollars per month through Artlist. Moving on to the fourth digital product idea, and that is NFTs. So with NFTs, you can go an entire rabbit hole on how to actually sell NFTs. But essentially what you'll need in order to launch an NFT is that you'll need a pretty solid team when it comes to hiring a web developer, hiring a smart contract developer, hiring the artist. So NFTs, they're no easy task, but I'm sure you've seen a lot of people make a lot of money from selling NFTs. But NFTs, it is more than just art. There is a membership, or there is utility behind it. But even so, if this is something that you're interested in, there is a quite big of a learning curve when it comes to actually selling NFTs. So moving on to the fifth digital product idea, and that is stock photos. So with stock photos, you simply just take a photo. This hovers between digital and physical because you simply just take a photo of something and then you upload it to a stock photo website such as Shutterstock, and you optimize it using correct keywords, tags, so that people can find it. And if people want to buy your image, they'll buy it, and then you'll receive a royalty commission from selling the image. So with people who've made money from stock footage or photos, I have heard that you need to upload thousands of photos in order to make a decent amount of money from it. But even so, it is a good digital business to have. Moving on to the next digital product idea, and that is stock footage. So very similar to stock images, but I do find that stock footage is very similar to stock photos in the way you optimize your footage, give it tags so that people can find your footage, and also putting your footage in the correct category so that people can actually find it. And if they want to purchase it, the same thing occurs, in which once someone makes the purchase on one of your stock videos, you'll receive a commission or royalty, which is about like 30% of what you price it at. Moving on to the next digital product idea, and that is softwares as a service, also known as SaaS services. So with software as a service, it's not the easiest thing to do when it comes to creating a software, especially if you're not a web developer. But a good example I can give you is Tubebuddy, in which they're basically a software service that people subscribe to on an annually basis or monthly basis, and it's a tool that people use in order to grow on YouTube. So maybe this will give you the idea that you can create a service if you're a web developer that caters to a specific niche, and then charging a monthly rate in order for them to continue using the service. So software as a service, that is the eighth digital product idea. Now, moving on to the ninth digital product idea that I have, and that's checklists, Excel sheets, and any documents that your audience within your niche can find beneficial. So an example I can give you is like a checklist for posting a YouTube video, you know, so there's maybe like 20 different items that I do prior to actually posting my YouTube video and actually post publication. So selling a checklist like that for like a mere $5, but kind of twisting that method and making it apply to your own niche, that is a digital product idea that you can sell to your own audience within your niche as well. Checklists, Excel sheets, documents. I've seen real estate agents sell their own sales scripts when it comes to what they actually do when it comes to selling a house to clients. I've seen sales coaches actually sell their sales templates for high amounts of money, which is the exact template that they use when it comes to landing $1,000 paying clients through sales calls. So you'd be surprised what people are willing to pay money for, especially when it comes to things such as checklists, Excel sheets, or documents that make their life easier. So moving on to the 10th digital product idea, and that is presets or LUTs for Lightroom. So presets or LUTs, those are basically different filters that you can apply to photos, and this applies very heavily when it comes to photo editors. It's different filters that people pre-make and then sell on markets such as Creative Market in order to make the photo editing process easier for photographers, for example, or designers. So this is something that I'm sure photographers would benefit very highly from, and it just makes the process easier when it comes to editing their photos. So moving on to the 11th digital product idea, and that is transition effects for a video editing program. And so the example I have here is Final Cut Pro X transitions, and this is an individual named Ryan Nangle who sells Final Cut transitions here on Sellify. So he has a ton of different transitions that people, if they're interested in making their videos more creative, more unique, they simply buy these transitions. And so he has a lot of transitions that he's made on Final Cut and sold them here on Sellify. So if that's something that you can do, whether it's on Adobe Premiere, DaVinci, Final Cut, that would be a good digital product idea to sell. Moving on to the 12th digital product idea, and that is customizable planners, calendars, goal trackers, wedding planners. And here's an example of a website called Master Plan, in which they sell digital printable habit tracker sets here just for a mere $2, you know? And just to think about the quantity amount, if a lot of people are buying this, those $2 would eventually add up. And here they also have a digital version of a Notion wedding planner, which they sell for $40. So again, not that high of a ticket item, but if you can sell these in mass quantity amounts, then the revenue will eventually add up. Moving on to the 13th digital product idea, and that is recipe books and meal plans. So here's a website called PlateJoy, and what they sell is custom meal plans and recipes that they give you when you subscribe to their service. So it's a mix of like a service, but I've used this before. And essentially what they did was that they would just give me multiple recipe ideas for breakfast, multiple recipe ideas for lunch, and multiple recipe ideas for dinner and dessert. So it's a very easy service. They simply just provide you with the ideas, and it's all digitized, and it requires almost little to no work on their end. You just pay a small monthly fee of like $5 for them to give you food choice ideas. So with me in particular, my problem was that I have trouble thinking of what to eat today, but for a website or a digital service like this in which they provide you with the meal plans and they provide you with the recipes, I would most certainly pay that amount just to kind of not have to think about, well, hey, what should I eat today? So moving on to the 14th digital product idea, and that is social media templates for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So here in a market called Creative Market, you can browse down, click on social media, and let's look at their Instagram templates. So what you'll find here is just a bunch of customizable templates for Instagram posts. And if you check out their templates for Facebook, what you'll find here is just a bunch of templates for Facebook cover images or Facebook posts. If you're a graphic designer, perhaps maybe you want to make graphic design templates for all the popular social media outlets out there, because again, people just want an easier way to create their graphics without having to be a graphic designer. And if something like this fits their brand and all they have to do is just change the text, they can keep the images, then they most certainly would be interested in something like this. And moving on to the 15th digital product idea, and we have mockups. So with mockups, what this is that it's people setting up mockups for specifically t-shirt design. So if this is something that you're interested in doing or are familiar with, you would simply just have props aligned with the t-shirt so that people can add the design to the t-shirt so it looks like it's a realistic photo that was taken. And so it really helps if there's models within the mockups, but as you can see here, some people are just using props, sunglasses, a watch, a tree, no models here, if that's easier. But you can see the amount of people buying all these mockups, right? Lots and lots of people need mockups without actually taking the photos themselves, because there's a lot of people in particular who are going the apparel route of business. So if you can sell digital mockups for them to put their designs onto the t-shirts that you create mockups for, that would be a great digital business idea as well. Moving on to the 16th digital product idea, and that is Photoshop Action. So what this is that it's actually a PSD like action. Usually what this applies to is turning 2D images into a 3D mockup. So what I've purchased before was Photoshop actions that can turn my images into a 3D realistic like representation. So here you can see the example from a website called graphicriver.net, in which you can buy these mockups, and what they are is that they're actions that turn your 2D image into something that looks like this. So if this is something that you're familiar with, it's a one-time purchase. It's quite complicated to make, but even so, might be worth doing just because maybe a lot of people aren't doing it. Moving on to the 17th digital product idea, and that is membership community services or mastermind groups. So here on a website called Patreon, how it works is that people sign up for a monthly subscription in order to become a quote-unquote fan of your brand or business. And in exchange, you offer them exclusive content, a community, exclusive posts. And I've seen a lot of people make a lot of money off of Patreon. So I've seen some individuals who have like a private Excel sheet and in stocks and what their stock picks are, and people sign up to their Patreon in order to see what their stock picks are. I've seen people sign up to an individual's Patreon just to be part of the community. But even so, Patreon makes it very easy for you to start your own membership community without the hassle of actually having to set up a website or actual payment processor system. Moving on to the 18th digital product idea, and we have apps. So here's a website called AppSumo in which you can sell your own app. This works extremely well if you're an app developer, but you can see a lot of apps here and what their purpose is, and people, 5 reviews, 17 reviews, people are purchasing them. If you want, you can create an app, sell on an AppSumo. The process is very easy. Just make sure that your app is hopefully useful to individuals. Moving on to the next digital product idea, and that is coaching services. So although this isn't completely digital, I'm categorizing it as a digital product idea just because it takes digitally online. So here on a website called Kajabi, you can actually sell your coaching services, in which you can do a one-time coaching session with individuals, or you can do a multi-session coaching process with individuals. Let's say that if you want to offer students 6 months of coaching, 1 session per month, that could be done through Kajabi. And so Kajabi makes it very easy, in which they keep everything in one place, your website, your products, your coaching services, your podcast. So it's a bit complicated to learn, but even so, coaching is definitely a very lucrative way to make money online. And it's a great digital product idea simply because I'm sure that there's some things that you know more than the average person. And with that being said, people are definitely willing to pay for your knowledge and for you to coach them. Moving on to the 20th digital product idea, and that is paid newsletters. So here's a website called Substack, in which if you're a fantastic writer and you already have an audience, perhaps people want to pay for you to send them a weekly newsletter. So here's a bunch of weekly newsletters that people are paying for. I've personally paid for weekly newsletters within the crypto space just to learn more. There's definitely an audience for it. People will pay for your writing if it's beneficial enough for them to actually read. So this website called Substack makes it very easy for you to start your own community and sell your own paid newsletters through emails. Simple application process. The thing you need here though is a loyal, diehard fan-based audience. So the last digital product idea that I have for you is study guides. So that's something that an entrepreneur named Pat Flynn actually started with. So this is his exam digital product called Green Exam Academy, in which he would help people pass the LEED exam. And so here on this website, he just has study guides, practice exams, continuing education units that people can pay for. And essentially it is all digital. So if you've passed an exam before, whether it be like the nursing exam, the physical therapy exam, the engineering exam, the Amazon cloud-based exam, you can start your own website and sell study guides and practice questions to help people pass the exam. So something like this I read was very lucrative for Pat Flynn himself, and he basically became the sole central authority figure when it comes to passing the LEED exam. So once you know what digital product idea that you want to create, where do you plan on selling it? Watch this video next where I go over the 10 best places to sell your digital products online.